Have you presented your government-issued ID, your driver's license, your personal information and details, or your credit card information, or your social security number even? Who knows? All this sort of stuff in order to watch this video on YouTube? You know? That's the crazy world that we live in now. And I have to say, anyone who's going to do that, who's going to put that up, I'm just going to say, you don't ever, you've been taught to not give your personal information to anyone asking you for it. Okay? So you're going to give it up to these sites and everything. You give it up to usually payment sites. If you have payment, some sort of payment coming in, social security, usually you need driver's license. If you open up bank accounts, you need that sort of stuff. But in order to access websites, you don't just throw around your personal information, where companies can be hacked. Of course that they are. They always are. And they don't ever tell people until, sometimes years later, oh, we've been hacked. There's been a data breach in like 2001. It's like all your information leaked, Seriously. Okay. Who's going to be foolish enough to be putting that information there? And here, all this stems from, if you're not aware, this has been something that has been a major threat that has been imposed very recently. It's a law in the UK for child safety. It's like, sure it is. Sure it is. Okay. About not allowing kids under the age of 18 on certain websites on the internet, or have appropriate age restrictions. It's like, come on. Do you really think that sort of stuff works? No, because there's already been people who bypass it by just generating an AI face. I mean, it's like if you get asked to show a picture, you can just generate fake image, fake ID, all that sort of stuff. It doesn't help anything. It literally does not help anything at all. All it does is collect your personal information. Now, what sort of nefarious things can they use this for? Because of course, they've said just to protect kids. Who really believes that? Are you really foolish enough to believe that? I don't think any of my viewers would be foolish enough to believe that. Although, I mean, maybe some would, but I don't know. I really hope not. But regardless, what sort of information can they gather from you? They can track and monitor everything that you're doing. This has been stuff I've been warning of for many years, where people called me a conspiracy theorist. Where people sit here and said, that sounds like you are paranoid. That sounds like, suspicious sort of mindset. It sounds like something that's never going to happen. It is science fiction. It's like, why would the government want to know all my personal information? Why wouldn't they want to know all your personal information? They want to know every single thing about you. From every little thing that you look online, every single thing that you do, everything that even goes on with inside of your body. They want to know all of it. Every single thing. What can they use that information for? Well, I will let your imagination go to where you think it would go in order for, that sort of tracking and everything. So this is just a very scary time, I would say, that we live in, because requiring ID to get on websites, when is it going to be like, okay, internet service providers are going to require ID and verification, but that's really not all that big of a deal, to be completely honest with you, because I mean, you're already presented a credit card in order to pay for the internet, so that should be sufficient, But it's like it's just ridiculous, the people who would believe that it's actually to help kids or to protect kids. It does nothing of the sort, and it's just so sad that people would actually believe that sort of crap. So I don't know what is going to happen here, but yeah, YouTube just recently rolled out this thing, and I guess if I'm really curious, any of my viewers here, have you been presented with that sort of ID thing? I would imagine it's probably going to be for people who don't make any videos. Because if I'm making videos here, they can clearly tell, I am over the age of 18, or am I? I'm just 16 years old, guys. That's right, AI. I'm just 16, so please put restrictions. Hmm. It's all done by AI, which, you know, is just honestly, it's like, I don't know how many years left humans have on this planet. You just gotta enjoy the remaining time. It's like, literally, if you're talking with people online, you can't even tell if they're real people anymore. I think it's going to come a time when, very soon, that when you see people in person, you're going to be like, that's not a person. It's an AI bot with a, you know, very human-looking appearance. I don't think that's going to be long. And then everything will become crashing and burning down with all of the AI taking over people's jobs. Again, this is all stuff that I talked about so long ago, and it's on record. It is on record that I've talked about this. Not necessarily on this channel, but I've made videos. I think some of them were removed from YouTube, so you can check my website. But yeah, I tell you, it's just who knew that this day was coming so soon? So soon. I wasn't expecting it so soon. I really wasn't, but here it is. And just think, in another year, the world's going to look drastically different. So, I don't want to scare anyone, but, you know, you just have to be prepared for this sort of stuff. So, this is something like, if you want to meet friends, meet people, you should have been starting to do that a while ago. You know, you can try that now, but there's a whole bunch of AI slop now, so you gotta be very, very careful. So I don't know how much longer the human species has left, but my guess is probably not too much longer. Maybe in my lifetime, everyone will be part of, you know, plugged into the matrix with their. It just reminds me of the that anime movie and show, The Ghost in the Shell, where everyone's, you know, has like a cyberized like body and like brain and everything, and they're all connected and everything, but there's very few people who are actually like humans, who don't have like any cyberized components. That's like one of my favorite shows, and it's like reality of what's actually happening. But anyway, if any of you receive an ID verification and you cannot comment on my YouTube video, I also have I have the Odyssey channel, I have the Rumble channel. You can probably access those without an ID or whatever. Go on there and comment and let me know if you received any sort of required verification on YouTube to interact with it at all. So, I don't do anything on social media really, to be completely honest with you. Like I don't on YouTube. I don't watch videos when I'm logged in. Okay, I just never do, because I'd rather not. I for the most part, I'm just usually logged out of my accounts. So yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what happens, and perhaps the downfall of YouTube, where a lot of people may be leaving or just giving up their IDs and, you know, getting their identity stolen. I'd say if you literally give your ID and personal information to YouTube, then you basically deserve having your identity stolen. I mean, it's just stupid. It really is. Credit card is probably fine, because, I mean, you know, you use your credit card for online shopping, all that sort of stuff. But giving your ID, your credit card, selfie, they got everything now. Identity stolen. And they would claim it's protected. Or we delete the data after a certain amount of time. Who really believes this? I remember, okay, this is actually something interesting here. I just remembered this. This was several years ago. I just needed to, it was like something regarding logging into my PayPal account. It was requiring proof of identification, and I needed to send a selfie of myself and a driver's license. And I even called up PayPal. I'm like, why do I have to do that? It's like, why did this just suddenly happen? It's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you my information there. Of course, they already have my, you know, bank information, so that should be fine, right? But no, they wanted pictures of my driver's license and my, you know, a selfie. But apparently, it was I don't know what it was, but I decided to just go on PayPal on the computer, on my the website online. I could get in just fine and verify my identity with I forget exactly. I think it was like your social security number, but PayPal would already have that because you have to put that in. Or I think you have to put that in if you are receiving money and for like tax purposes, all that sort of stuff, whatever it is. So usually it's like I think all I had to do was like put the last 4 digits in order to verify it. But it's like I didn't have to give selfie or that sort of stuff online. So it's like, why on the mobile thing? So that's the other thing. I don't ever access YouTube on mobile. Only on the desktop. I don't use the phone except for just to record and maybe like a few games. And there's like one app that I use on the phone to like communicate and talk, but that's basically it. I use everything else on my computer. So anyway, this video has gone on long enough. Let me know what your thoughts are regarding this age restriction thing. And if you've given out all your personal information, I'm really curious to hear. So take care. Bye-bye.